our show is like. And so we have lots of warm-ups that cover a whole lot of different things. Depending on the year, depending on the show music, we might play these warm-ups or those warm-ups or whatever. And so we kind of trade out. Sometimes we'll trade out even on a weekly basis. So this next one is called Triplet Rolls. This year's show has a lot of 9/8, has a lot of a triplet feel. So this is going to be one of those that's going to be important. Okay? So this is Triplet Rolls. Front, you got your mallets. Hands on both sides, right? All right. It's an interesting time for our band right now because we're growing. We've got a very large incoming freshman class. And we're going to show you, right now we're going to have some front ensemble exercises for you. We have so many up here, up in the front, that are young that nearly 50% of our keyboard players are first-year pirate band members. And so there are a lot of technique exercises that we're going to work through. They've done fantastic so far. I've talked to them about how well they're doing. And so what I want to do is I want to kind of show off some different techniques that these guys have been doing for you. So they rotate, some of the kids rotate around on different instruments, but for most of the fall, they're going to stay playing their specific instrument. Of course, as percussionists, they'll end up playing a lot of other instruments in the spring when we get into concert season, percussion ensemble, that sort of thing. But for marching band, all these kids basically stay on the same instrument, although you do see a couple of kids move around from time to time. This first exercise is going to be a 2 mallet exercise, and so it just works on getting our hands moving. We just learned it last year for the first time, but it's called purple, and this happens in 2 different keys. So we're doing purple in C and F, right? Okay, everybody set. Here's your tempo. Okay, hands up. So these guys know a lot of these exercises in all the flat keys, all the sharp keys, and so we've been learning a lot of that as well. I've thrown a whole lot at them in the last 5 days. So now what we're going to do is we're going to do some 4 mallet exercises, and these are exciting because 4 mallet technique is very different than anything that any of the kids have ever done in middle school coming up this way. Even some kids as they get into high school, their 4 mallet, and even a few years in, their 4 mallet technique is not as developed. So we've been working a lot on just developing good habits 4 mallet-wise, okay? So the first thing you're going to see is what I call a double vertical exercise. It's just, these are a couple simple exercises that gets their hands moving to what they need to be doing so that we can apply that to show music, okay? So this first exercise right here is just a double vertical exercise. You guys remember how it goes? Yes? Okay, here we go. Here's your pulse. Move out of the way. Single independent strokes. So it's one mallet at a time per hand. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to have them play for you one mallet at a time doing single independent strokes. So remember, this is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, right? Okay? Mallets up. Sorry, I forgot that last time. C, G, right? Of these things that we're doing. We're going to only do 2 of them for you today if you're okay with that. But the next one we're going to do is 1, 3, 2, 4. So 1, 3, 2, 4, and this is the last thing that the Keyboards Front Ensemble will play for you by themselves today. So y'all, this is 1, 3, 2, 4, same thing, 4 reps twice, or 4 times, 2 reps, right? Okay, now it's up. Let's out our mallets, please. Today. I mentioned before, most of you know, obviously by this point, some of you may not, that I am blessed to have not only another percussion teacher on this campus, which is not as much of a thing. Thankfully, Mesquite is getting to where all the high schools are going to have multiple percussion teachers on campus. Not only do I have one, but I'm related to him. And so this is the other Mr. Cath, and he's going to talk to you guys a little bit about what we're doing with the battery.
All right, so hey guys, I've been fortunate enough to work with the battery all week, along with two other guys that are my friends, but also really, really good musicians as well. They're actually in Canada right now with the Texas Tech Steel Ensemble, playing at an international percussion convention. So they were only here for 2 days, but they poured into these kids awesome for the first 3 days they were here. Or, yeah, 3 days. So we have two exercises that we are going to play today. The first is called diddles. It is aptly named. It's just a diddle exercise. It's kind of longer, and that was on purpose. I wanted to stretch these guys and make them think longer, because our show is like 8 minutes long. They're really going to be in the zone for probably 15 solid minutes. So it's trying to stretch that from day one has been something really important for me. So the first exercise is diddles. Here we go. Implement stuff that's in our show. We don't just want to warm up for no reason. And so this next exercise is paradiddles. We have a few paradiddles sprinkled in throughout the battery. Even the bass drummers, lower bass drummers have paradiddles. So this next exercise is again called paradiddles. Here we go. There was one day that I was with the front ensemble, and I spent over 20 minutes with just 8 on a hand. We were on drum pads. And so that's how important it is for us to get our fundamentals really solid as we move throughout the season. We do a little bit less of that later on and more of our show music during any specific rehearsal. But we do a lot of fundamental stuff in the beginning just because they have to be moving their hands correctly. I don't care what they're playing, any of these things. So now what a lot of you have come here to see is our opener for our show this year. Friends, find your spots. Let me tell you a little bit about it, the show. And so obviously you guys know it's called Elixir. We've got some of our leaders doing some of our stuff. We're
this time of year, the band hall kind of changes over from last year's stuff to this year's stuff. And so it's cool that you get to see a little bit of everything, and it won't be long, and it'll be all full of elixir in here. Well, not literally, but figuratively. But anyway, so the title Elixir from our show actually came from a piece of music that was written, that was commissioned for our band to play in the memory of Scott Colson, who was the director of bands at this school since it opened. A lot of you may know him, or you may have at least heard his name, because he still comes and clinics our band. He's a very active part of our band program. He was my band director. He was Ms. Gomez's band director. And so he means a lot to this program, and he's still a big influence on us. And so we didn't choose it just because of that, obviously, but the staff all sits down together and talks about different show themes and stuff that, creatively we could kind of put together. And so this year's show is called Elixir, and it features music. It features the Sorcerer's Apprentice, which you may know. If you don't recognize that title, you would know it. It's really famous. If you've ever seen Disney's Fantasia, that is the Sorcerer's Apprentice, where Mickey is in a lab with all kinds of concoctions, and the broom starts dancing and all that stuff. That's Fantasia, the movie Fantasia, which is the Sorcerer's Apprentice. You'll hear a lot of that in here. It's interesting because you guys are getting a sneak peek of just part of our band program. So for a second, you're going to be like, oh, I recognize that. And you're going to think, wait, now I don't hear anything. Well, that's because it's a tuba solo at one point, or it's a euphonium solo, or a trumpet solo. And so we don't necessarily, as a drum line, play all of the melodic stuff, right? A lot of times we're just rhythm sections supporting the wind players. So you're gonna hear lots of gaps and holes here and there. That's by design. And so when you hear something and the Met's clicking and nobody's playing and all that means is we've got a tuba solo going on, or we've got a woodwind feature going on, or something like that. So you guys get to hear just part of what it is. So we're doing the Sorcerer's Apprentice. Love Potion number 9 is a really big part of our show, huge part of our show. And then Elixir, which is the piece written by Michael Markowski for the Pirate Band and Mr. Colson. So that's what it is all together. We can't wait to show you the entire product. We've got great props that we're doing. We've got great design. We've got some really cool drum covers that are going to go on our drums. And so this is just the beginning. This is day 5. We have several months to go, right? And so I hope you guys will join us along the way so that you can see today's product. And then the next time you see it, there's going to be something else. You're going to be like, oh, that's cool, that's new. And so that's just going to happen throughout the fall. And so before we go, do me a favor, because this couldn't happen without the support of everybody in this room. I don't care if you're a parent or a student or a leader or whoever you are. It takes a lot to make this program go. So everybody, drumline, do me a favor. Give a big thank you to everybody.
You're welcome.
We love performing for you, and we hope you will come to see us every chance you get. Be sure to get a cool Sea of Green t-shirt and be part of that revived Sea of Green. It's fantastic. You have no idea what it's like to stand on the 50-yard line and look up and see a huge, literal sea of green cheering you on. It's like nothing you've ever seen before. So without further ado, this is the Pirate Band's 2026 show entitled Elixir. You will see our drum majors getting up on, give them an Thank you to Ron, D1, and Clara, our drum majors, who are here to